Hello again, thanks for choosing us. My name is Ernest Minu. Now, the former Attorney General, Adwoa Safo, has chickened out of the NPP's chairmanship race barely a week to the party's National Delegates Conference. This despite being cleared by the vetting committee to run in the election. The former High Commissioner to Canada had put himself up to be elected to lead the party into the 2024 elections as its chairman. He had insisted that he was the right man to help break the party's 8 come 2024.
It should not be about me.
But you're going to be the chairman.
Sure.
You must convince the electorate.
How many votes do you think I have?
No, you have one.
Yes.
But I'm talking about when you go before the party's delegates.
So it is a collective thing. We work together.
No doubt. But you are the leader. You'll be the leader.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But I'm saying that you can only work together with others.
I have no doubt about that.
It should be a teamwork.
No problem. But what do you as an individual leader, chairman, if you win, bring to that table to break the 8?
You have an election committee. You have a campaign office. You have people who will come together to work on it.
Is that suggest that you don't
really?
It's recycled. You don't have a big idea of your own.
I'm not saying so.
I want to know that big idea to break the 8.
There are so many. I said first of all that you need to work on apathy. I will tell you where I stand on that. Apathy to me is the greatest enemy of a party. We've done so well in 2017, then in 2020, we end up in a tie, 137. And then you needed somebody to break that tie. That person happens to be our former member. What happened to him? Because of the way he was treated, in trying to secure somebody's maybe position and letting him get out of the place and the rest, So if the party, you remember I issued a statement that where the rules for internal elections are not properly managed or applied, it leads to apathy and it's very serious.
But with barely a week for the polls, Mr. Adwoa Safo has chickened out of the race. Now, here's the chairman of the party's election committee, Peter McMinu, announcing his resignation.
3 prospective aspirants for the positions of National Organizer, National Women's Organizer, and National Youth Organizer, that is Dr. Kwame Afriyie, Posua Sewa Bonsu, and Tumfo Klinsman Kakari Mensah, respectively, resigned their decision to contest. In effect, they withdrew from the contest. As a result of the diligence of the National Election Committee and the preparedness of the prospective aspirants, no appeals against the nomination of any prospective aspirant were recorded by the National Appeals Committee headed by Honorable Dan Boche, which had scheduled Friday 24th to Saturday 25th of June 2022 for the hearing of appeals. In effect, there were no appeals. So the process went smooth sailing. Honorable Ayikwe Otu, who was vying for the position of national chairman of the party, has however since withdrawn from the race.
And still with the governing New Patriotic Party, it has warned that persons caught in act of vote buying during the delegates' conference will be arrested and prosecuted. This is part of efforts to crack down on the rising issues of bribery, which has characterized the party's reorganization process so far. There were widespread allegations of vote buying during the party's recently held constituency elections, but addressing a press conference, the chairman of the Elections Committee, Peter McMinu, said there will be zero tolerance for bribery in the internal delegates conference.
For the avoidance of doubt, the National Party will be responsible for transportation, accommodation, and feeding of all delegates throughout the conference. All aspirants and all their agents are therefore warned not to engage in any untoward behavior that can be interpreted as bribery or treating. within the meaning of the Representative of People's Law 1992 PNDC Law 284, which are serious criminal offenses. The National Election Committee has therefore engaged the Ghana Police Service, who will be on the election grounds to strictly enforce the laws and arrest anyone found to be in the breach of PNDC Law 284. There's a law in this country that covers cheating and bribery, and we are going to enforce it. So we are using your medium to tell Ghana and the world that we are not going to entertain any acts of cheating and bribery in our internal elections.
Let's head to Parliament. Now, John News understands that MP for Dome-Kwabena Sarah Adwoa Safo has failed to appear before the Privileges Committee to answer questions on why she has been absenting herself from Parliament. Her conduct and that of two other NPP MPs, Kennedy Japon and Henry Korte, were referred to the committee by the Speaker, Alban Badmin. Now, the committee published her invitation in the national dailies, also gave her the opportunity to appear via video conferencing, but the MP has still not shown up. Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante joins us via Zoom with some more details. Kweku, we know that she was expected a month ago. Tell us the story of how this has moved to today.
So, Ernest, last month, the Honorable MP was expected to appear before the Privileges Committee together with two other majority MPs who have all been summoned because they have absented themselves for more than 15 days. In the case of Sarah Adwoa Safo, she did not turn up at the committee meeting a month ago, although the other two MPs, Honorable Henry Korte and Honorable Kennedy Japon, did so and tried to explain why they were absent for the period of days. But what happened with Sarah Adwoa Safo is that because she's outside the country, the committee explained that they had been doing all they could to reach her in Ghana and summon her. She did not avail herself to be summoned. So Parliament decided that they will substitute the summon service by publishing her invitation in the national dailies and giving her up to 1 month period to show up to be, as it were, interviewed for explanation in terms of why she's been absenting herself from Parliament. But we know that Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo is also not in the country. So the committee said if she can't face the committee in person, then they will give her some Zoom details for video conferencing. So 1 month down the line, they were expecting that she will appear before the committee today, and as she didn't, the committee sat about 12 o'clock in the afternoon today, waiting for her to appear. As about 3:30 to 4, when the committee finally decided that they had waited for far too long, the MP has still not shown up. So they waited for like 3 to 4 hours, and she had not shown up, and then they decided that they were going to move on.
And Kweku, we know that Parliament says it's made efforts to reach the MP. We know about publishing her invitation in the dailies, for instance, and affording her the opportunity to appear via video conferencing. Give us a breakdown, details of the steps taken by Parliament deliberately to reach the Dome-Kwabena MP.
So they first started by serving the summons and invitations to her house here in Accra. They said they met security personnel that were protecting the house. They tried to give those summons to be passed on to their boss, Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo. They also decided to do the service of the summons through her office as Minister of State in charge of Gender, Children Affairs. They also did that. They also put those invitations in her pigeonhole in Parliament. In Parliament, all MPs have pigeonholes that they put information relating to them in there. What they also decided to do was to try and reach her on all the emails and phone numbers that they have of her. Indeed, some of her colleagues and MPs who have her personal phone numbers have also tried to send an invitation to her, but they've had no response. And so the committee is currently at its wit's end in terms of how they will be able to reach her to finally appear before the committee. And then finally, what the committee decided to do is that in the next 1 week, they are going to start preparing the evidence in terms of Honorable Henry Korte and Honorable Kennedy Japon and present it to the House. Okay. If within this 1 week she does not avail herself, then they will inform Parliament that they have done all they could not reach her, so they are presenting a report to cover the first two MPs, and then Parliament will have to take a new decision in terms of how to deal with the Dome Kwabena MP, Sarah Adwoa Safo.
Well, we'll see how that pans out. Kweku, thank you very much for bringing us those details.